mention it. Yeah, we didn't want to take it. What are we talking about?
You definitely didn't mess up the first time.
Definitely not.
Doing the old one that you usually do.
Yeah.
So at least that shows that I listen.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah.
Or does it show that I don't listen?
No, it shows you
I didn't
listen.
do the right one.
It shows you listen because you went for the old intro, which is...
There you go.
that counts.
See, I'm like one of the OG listeners, mate. I'm the OG. I'm the OG, the only listener that matters. Is that what they say?
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
The OC?
Yeah, I think that's what they say, yeah.
It's terrible either way.
So, yeah, in case you haven't wondered, Josh isn't here. He's on holiday having the time of his life in Kos.
Oh, God.
The
uncultured swine.
I know he really is. He's not enjoying it. It's like he's gone to Kos, got a swimming pool and good weather for like 6 days, and he's moaning because he hasn't got a fucking internet connection.
Oh dear.
Jesus. So yes.
Wish you were here, Josh.
Well,
we'll see.
So yeah, we've got a friend of ours called Matt Goff in. We talked about him a couple of times when we do like predictions and all that kind of stuff, and we talked about our predictions and whatnot that we do. So we have spoken about him a couple of times. He's also the bloke that I do videos for, like sponsor videos for his Glory Collective stuff.
Oh yeah, the Glory Collective.
Yeah,
buy it.
Yeah, buy it. Buy the shit.
Buy everything.
Links in descriptions. So yeah, as far as I know.
Sorry, also you've missed my next title, which is
what?
The next Boob Out Heavyweight Champion.
Well,
get that in there.
Oh, you know,
get it right.
I've got a funny feeling your missus might be first.
That is true. But I've dropped down very low.
To be honest, though, the gap has closed.
It is.
There's only 2-3 points per person. It's really not.
And like from bottom to top, I think there's like 5 or 6 points.
It's really not that much.
It is.
Tight. So I'm butt clenched for hell of a sound, to be honest. So yeah, usual YouTube, SoundCloud, Stitcher and iTunes. Like, subscribe, Twitter, Instagram, we're all on there. We also want to say a really massive thank you to everyone that listened on SoundCloud for the last one, because we got 560 views.
Nice.
Which is the biggest we've ever had. We normally get 80 or 90, so that's a big deal for us.
So with me being here, we need to
hopefully push it to the ground.
We need to double it at the very least.
Brilliant. So I suppose we'll crack on. There's no deaths as far as I know. Josh normally does that and I have no idea, so I'm assuming there isn't any.
No deaths that I'm aware of anyway.
Yeah, so pre-show then. Yeah,
let's do the pre-show. So if I'm being honest, the first match of the pre-show I missed. I missed the first match.
I literally found highlights. That's all I did.
Right. So yeah, we had obviously the cruiserweight, which was Lince Dorado versus Humberto Carrillo, and of course Drew Gulak, which is pretty much the glue that's holding the entire division together. Yeah,
which is probably why they'll go into fucking NXT by the sounds of it anyway.
Yeah.
So it makes.
So it was what I understand to be a match.
It was fine, and the ending was kind of just.
Here's the thing with the cruiserweight matches. Myself, and I think this goes for the majority of people that watch this. We know that it's great wrestling on 205 Live.
It is.
But we don't care.
No, we don't.
Because there's
too much already.
There's just way too much.
And now, like I say, we get an NXT for 2 fucking hours on Wednesdays as well. It's even more.
You know, it's like every time there's a pay-per-view, we're almost a little bit surprised that the match is good. And sometimes it's the match of the night. But that is just the quality of wrestling that you find on 205 Live. But
no one's watching it.
Exactly. So again, on the pre-show, and I do understand why.
Yeah, because you want to get those last few buys, don't you?
Exactly. So it is supposed to be the most exciting type of wrestling with the flips and the high flying. So I totally get it. But it was a match, and Drew Gulak who
retained. He just threw him into the corner, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then just kind of took a pin. It's a bit of a weird ending.
Yeah.
So that was that.
Then we had the United States Championship match.
Now this I'm a little bit annoyed at. Not because of the match, because from what I saw highlights-wise, I was reasonably impressed. The only thing I would say is that why the fuck was it on the pre-show?
I don't know. I really don't know. And I don't know. I'm in two minds with the result, because I think the way the match was going and how it started, it looked like Cedric Alexander was really going to be getting a push here.
Yeah.
And when straight off the bat he tried to get that quick pin, and to me I was like, is this happening?
This is time, yeah.
But then in the end, I think the way it ended, and then having the club, the OC, come out and lay the beat down.
Yeah.
it's just a bit of a shame, really. It's just kind of, I don't want to say it was a burial, but
it seemed like say it seemed like they were going to give it to Alexander, or they're giving him that chance to shine, even if he did lose. But then it just kind of like it came into a beatdown. Yeah. Then it was more of a beatdown, and then nothing else came of it. Because normally when a beatdown like that happens, there's a bit of comeuppance somewhere or something, like someone comes out to help or whatever.
Yeah.
But it just seemed like, no, you're getting annihilated, you're getting put in your place. It's kind of.
It just seemed like they've killed the momentum that Cedric Alexander seemed to be getting.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I don't mind the feud continuing though, as long as he ends up picking up the title, because I'm all for pushing new people, and they're doing all right with Cedric at the moment. So put him with AJ.
One problem is start-stop. You know, if you're getting that momentum behind it, then you kill that momentum, which I think they've done that quite a bit. I wouldn't say it's dead, but they've definitely slowed down the momentum.
It seems to be the MO of WWE lately. Start-stop is 50-50 booking. It's just those two go hand in hand at the moment, which is a little bit annoying.
Definitely, yeah. So the match ends with, of course, a Styles Clash, and then the after-match mugging that happened.
Beat down.
And that was it.
So AJ's still your champ.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Yeah, nothing to write home about, I don't think.
Nah. But you know what? This is. I think we all went into this pay-per-view kind of expecting. To me, this pay-per-view was what I was expecting.
Yeah,
it was a B.
It was serviceable.
Yeah,
but it wasn't epic.
It wasn't the worst pay-per-view.
No, of course not. I've seen worse.
Oh yeah. There's definitely some really good bits in it. So,
yeah, but there's also some really...
Which we'll get into over the next hour, I guess.
Yeah, so, next one is onto the main card now, isn't it?
So, main card, we've got here the Raw Tag Team Championship match.
Yes. Now, this one went exactly as I thought it was going to go. Rudolph, the fucking tag team that's just randomly been put together out of nowhere.
I like it. I really like it.
I mean, the only thing I like about it is like I don't really need Ziggler in any position, to be honest. But if it's to further Rude and give him a push, then that's fine.
I think I'm in the minority with Dolph, because
I still like him. It's not like I don't like him.
A lot of people say that they just don't. They can't believe in Dolph, you know, because we know what purpose he
when he
plays.
re-signed that contract, we knew what that contract was.
It's pushing people. It's just kind of mid card pushing people, putting people over.
Yeah.
So, but he's such a good sell.
Yeah, I've always gone down as one of the best sells in the company.
Yeah. So every match he has, I still have that ounce of belief that could he do it? Is this the time we're going to get the Dolph push that we've been wanting for years?
Yeah.
And to be honest, I think that partnering him up with Robert
Roode,
could be really good for both of them, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. And if they can have a nice length with the belts and then eventually split up and have Rude go over on Ziggler, that's Ziggler doing his job again by pushing Rude.
It kind of feels like a bit of a bar situation to me.
Potentially, because that was just put together randomly.
It was put together with the Best of 7 series, and the bar just worked.
Yeah, it did.
And I think when you've got the characteristics of Dolph Ziggler partnered with Robert Roode, who we all know is way better than what he's been doing.
He's not been given time to shine at all. He really hasn't.
You know, it was such a meme. You know, the whole glorious thing. Movement.
We're all doing it.
And it's just, such a shame.
I want to bring it back.
What happened. Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that this can be the start of that. So
so the match itself was it was a good match. It went exactly as I expected. There was plenty of moves and stuff going on, but then it was like a miscommunication where I think was it Braun through Seth or barged someone into Seth, and then he got hit with a glorious DDT. Good night, and there you
It was your stereotypical Raw tag team match.
Yeah, these people can't coexist.
Exactly. It always seems to be the big people. Their kind of kryptonite, if you will, is their own size. That's how.
Because all you've got to do is slip out of the way and they hurt themselves. If they get a lot of momentum, it happens a lot.
They try and run someone over like a train and end up hitting the turnbuckle.
That's it.
Do you know what I mean? So the match. It was a match. It was okay.
It was fine.
The result I really liked.
Yeah, the result. I mean, I'm not against the result at all. I'm really not, because to be perfectly honest, throwing the titles on Rollins and Braun in the first place was just something completely random. Given the fact that we've got all these tag teams that don't do anything at the moment.
100%. So we're here talking about how they've just thrown Rudolph together. Let's talk about Braun and
Braun and Seth. That was only about a week or two prior to those two. So what?
And I think them having the belts kind of diminished, what they were actually trying to do storyline-wise with the Universal Championship.
Yeah.
So, I was glad that it was taken off them and given to Rudolph. Let's hope that they can do something with it. And, we'll see where it goes. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, definitely.
To be honest.
So, it was as expected, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. So, next up, we have the SmackDown Women's Championship match. Charlotte Flair... That's where you go.
Versus.
No, you're supposed to go, woo!
Oh, sorry. I was just saying when we say versus, like, carry on.
Versus.
Do you want to try again? Take two.
Charlotte Flair.
Woo!
Versus Bayley. Heel Bayley.
Well, it's saying heel.
I think heel Bayley.
I can't make my fucking mind up because she's doing some heel things, but she's coming out all face, she's talking all face, and it's just like, if you want to be that heel that's trying to be happy-go-lucky like Bo Dallas was or something like that, and I get that, but Bo was definitely a heel, I knew that. With Bayley, I don't know what the fuck they're trying to do. That could have been one of the best heel turns ever, and at the exact moment it happened, I was like, holy shit.
How many people wanted that heel turn?
So we all did. It was like one of those Cena things you don't think is going to happen. When it did, it was amazing, and they just kind of backtracked a little bit. They just kind of reversed it a bit.
They always seem to be quite reluctant to
pull the trigger on things like that.
Pull the trigger, and they'll kind of tease it a little bit, and they'll kind of put one foot in, one foot out. And I think it's a kind of a safety mechanism. If it doesn't work, we can go, we'll take that foot out and now you face again.
And that goes a lot with all the wrestlers that they've got at the moment. They don't seem to be really putting anybody right at the top apart from someone like Rollins. Everyone's kind of on a level playing field because they want to think, well, when can I push this person? When can I drag that person back? Is this going to work? Is that not going to work? They seem to just be too safe with everything at the moment. And Bayley's definitely a result of that.
Yeah. So the match was good.
It was all right, but it ended far too quickly for me.
Here's my problem with the ending. Again, it's so Bayley removed the turnbuckle, classic heel manoeuvre.
Definitely. She got hit in the head.
Yeah, so it did just kind of come out of nowhere. But then again, those kind of spots do, I think, kind of taking off the turnbuckle. The match, it did seem like it was just about to kick in.
Yeah, it really did. I felt like it was starting to build and then suddenly it's over.
Yeah.
If you could have had an extra 4 or 5 minutes on top of that, it probably would have been better.
Whether they had time constraints, maybe, I don't know.
Maybe.
It's still early in the pay-per-view, so really there shouldn't be any kind of, anyone going over or anything like that. So. Yeah,
true. It just seemed like, being as they built Charlotte as the kind of female Roman Reigns of this, well, sort of, as this unbeatable, thing.
Yeah.
It seemed like she was just beaten a bit too early. It's like she took a head turnbuckle thing, but then it was a pin. I was like, well, shouldn't it have been that, and then maybe a move, and then a pin? Do you know what I mean? Just a little bit more, considering how high they put Charlotte Flair as,
So my main issue with this match is the fact that Bayley is doing the heel role, and I just don't buy it.
Yeah.
She's
and I want to.
There's been a heel, and then there's kind of been a... What am I trying to say? Taking off the turnbuckle is another level of being a heel.
That's definitely a heel, yeah.
I just don't buy it. Even though she's kind of, going on this slope, and I think that's what they tried to present, is that she's not actually gone full heel, but she's on this slow decline, trying to follow the footsteps of Sasha. But that slow decline just kind of, when she did the turnbuckle, it was like, well, no, she's definitely a heel. And then no doubt we'll get onto SmackDown, and she'll be doing
face entrances and talking.
Yeah, so that's my only kind of gripe with that match, to be honest.
Yeah, it's just, I suppose it's time will tell with Bayley, isn't it? I'm kind of hoping that they do just go for it.
Yeah.
But, like I say, I haven't got the confidence with it at the moment.
Well, so she's still got the belt, so let's see if they actually do anything with it.
Yeah.
Do you think that they're leading up to something with Sasha?
I think that they're keeping the 4 horsewomen kind of around each other's perimeter, because I think they're going to slowly build up to the 4 horsewomen against each other at some point. I don't know when they're going to do it. If they were going to do it, maybe it's like Survivor Series or maybe the Royal Rumble or something like that.
Yeah.
Stops any of them winning the Rumble, because I don't think any of them need to. But because obviously Mania seems like it's going to be Becky versus Ronda. It seems like that's more or less set in stone. That's what they want for next year, so I don't think it's going to happen there.
Yeah.
So potentially it could happen at the Rumble or Survivor Series. I'd be fine with it. I just feel like it's a Mania worthy thing, really.
Yeah, good shout. So we'll see what happens. So next up is the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. New Day versus the Revival.
It's a new day, yes it is. Well,
for
the Revival.
I wasn't mad on them putting this match here, to be honest. It didn't seem to...
Yeah, I suppose, but I just thought... So saying that, you could have swapped it with the Intercontinental, I think.
Yeah.
I think you probably could have done that.
So, again, any match, as far as I'm concerned, with the New Day in...
It's guaranteed to be.
Yeah.
And it's Revival, and they are
good. It's the Revival, which, again, are... so.
Again, they've done stop-start quite a lot, but, again, when they're given the chance and against the right people, they are phenomenal as well.
Yeah. So... good match.
Yeah.
I didn't see the titles changing hands, but I'm glad that they have. I think that it's going to be really good for them. So I didn't think that the New Day were going to lose this match.
No, I didn't. I thought they were retaining because I was going prediction-wise it was going to be Kofi retaining as well, and I thought they were going to keep them champions for a while. So yeah, I didn't think they were losing either. Like I said, the match was good. I think they worked over the injury of Xavier quite well. They took out Big E quite a couple of times to make sure that he was out of the count.
Yeah.
And then I said they worked on Xavier a bit more, and they ended up getting into tap.
Yeah.
Which, I'm fine with because it makes sense because it always makes someone look a little bit weak when they tap. However, it depends on how it's done, and it was done right because he was injured on his leg. They worked on that until he couldn't hold on anymore. There was no one else to tag because Big E was out for the count.
Right.
So that makes sense. Revival your new champions, and I'm absolutely fine with that because I think they're great. I'm just hoping that if they do the draft and they keep them on SmackDown, well, it looks like they're doing, that they can be a nice, big kind of push and keep them and Orton together as a stable. I like the stable they're together. I didn't think I would ever see that, and I like that they're together. I'm just hoping that they stay together.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a story match, wasn't it?
Definitely.
It was definitely put in that position to further develop this story.
Yeah.
And I think they did it really well. No sign or word of Randy Orton during this match.
No.
Which did you think that he was going to have a role to play in this?
I thought potentially he could get involved,
versa.
and vice versa. I thought, like you said, they could interweave both matches. They did have the was it RKO things on their trunks and their jackets and stuff, so they are officially 100% a stable.
But Randy didn't.
I just I think even Wrestle Talk mentioned it. You could have told Randy. Just standard RKO. The match was good. It did exactly what it was meant to do, and we got a shot new champs.
Yes, and I think they need it.
Yeah, absolutely.
They really need
it doesn't matter for the New Day. The 6-time champs, they're still popular as ever. I don't feel like they...
New Day definitely don't need the belts, guys. I think that we... I don't know if we are, but I think that we should be nearing the end of the New Day, to be honest. In the next year, maybe year and a half, I really want to see a heel turn.
I don't know who, though, because Big E seems like the popular one, because people are going on about that.
He seems the obvious one.
He does seem the obvious one, but Xavier, I think... He's come on leaps and bounds so much since his own single time before New Day that I think if he could be that absolute prick, I think he could do it as well.
Yeah, of course.
But it needs to be one of them turning on Kofi. So, being as I don't know what they're doing going forward with Kofi and the title and all that kind of stuff, maybe one of those guys would be the one to take it from him.
Yeah. I mean, as far as singles runs, I think Big E would definitely have the best run of it.
Yeah, because he's a big guy and Vince likes big guys and we like him, so naturally that's...
I love to see when Big E snaps out of his comedic role. When he, when he was supporting Kofi in his promos, and when he was, laying down his thoughts on what Vince was doing,
he's getting aggressive.
He stopped being funny and he was serious, and that's when you kind of go, whoa, okay, right,
let's do his business.
Exactly. So I would love to see that kind of energy from Big E on a singles run.
Definitely.
Let's when it happens, and it's going to happen eventually, so let's just see how it goes. And I think that when it does happen, I think hopefully none of them would get lost in the shuffle. Yeah,
because if they do go for Big E, there is a lot of potential for Xavier to be the one that gets lost in the shuffle.
That's my worry. Yeah.
However, if you play it like you did with the Shield, you can be alright, because all of them did alright once the Shield split up. I know that I'd say Ambrose was down the peg out of the three, but he was still Intercontinental Champion. He was still part of the storyline, and it still went on quite well. Xavier would definitely be the Dean Ambrose role in that kind of, if you're trying to draw parallel. Yeah, but we're not going to be worried about him being on main event. Right. It'll be fine. Definitely. So, okay, moving on. Next up, the women's tag title, tag team title match. So, Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, Fire and Desire. Still don't know that name.
I don't like the name.
I hate that name.
I really thought Fire and Desire were going to take this,
I didn't believe that they would. I feel like they're trying to build up the credibility of these titles because they haven't really been treated with any credibility. Even though the Iconics had it, they barely did any matches with them.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're trying to build it up with Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. So Fire and Desire, although they have been a tag team longer, they haven't really had much of a push yet. So yeah. I'm all for them taking it at some point, but I just didn't think it was the time.
Yeah.
But it was a good match. It did what it needed to do. The only thing I would say is that the whole kind of interweaving story about Nikki not being good looking compared to Mandy and stuff like that.
It's just a cheap storyline, to be honest.
It's cheap, and it's starting to get on my nerves with Corey Graves. I think it's been getting on my nerves for a while. Just constantly just saying how great looking she is. Yes, I get it. She's good looking, and I know that's part of your character as a heel commentator. But goddamn,
the thing is,
it's like you're masturbating under the fucking announcement table. It's getting on my nerves.
It's very, that kind of storyline is very subjective, and Nikki Cross is not ugly.
No,
I don't understand. I think it's because Mandy Rose is, in Vince's eyes, the
tall, blonde, big tits.
Exactly. He's the perfect image that he wants representing within the women's division, and Nikki Cross isn't. So the trouble with that storyline is very cheap. It's very subjective, isn't it? And it just doesn't really do anything for the storyline.
I think you could have had it a lot better if it just didn't involve that.
Yeah,
just have it a straight match.
So my big problem here was the interference.
The 24/7 thing.
Not interference. Let's say the interruption.
Yeah.
It just shows how much I think the WWE or Vince cares about the women's division.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I thought it was funny how Alexa went for a pin.
Yeah,
I thought that was funny because obviously they did it earlier in the night when she was backstage, and then ended up being R-Truth of the Boom, and she just basically called him out and said everyone could come and get him. So it interwove later on, but why that match?
Exactly. They wouldn't have done it on any other match. You had a pre-show that you could have done a lot of 24/7 championship gimmicks, spots, promos, whatever you want to call it. There was plenty of time to do this, and I think in this women's match that really needs something, it just kind of took away from it to me. Yeah, to be honest.
Yeah,
and then they ran off. And the thing is, I couldn't get back into the match because I was expecting the camera to go backstage.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
So
you kind of get taken out of it a little bit. It's just I mean, the match itself wasn't actually that bad. It was all right. Standard match.
And Nikki Cross got the win.
Yeah, that I like. Because you fully expect Alexa to be the one to get it. But to be honest, I mean, Nikki's been getting the reasonable amount of pins lately. Even if it's like the single stuff and everything, she's been built to... I think they're trying to hopefully build up to a point where she's on the level with Alexa, rather than being her second, that they're actually a team and they're actually as good as each other kind of thing. They're trying to build that, maybe. So I'm glad that she was the one that took the pin, gave the pin. Was it Mandy she pinned?
Was it Mandy that she pinned?
Because if so, that kind of it's kind of like a big fuck you.
It was the neck breaker off the rope.
Net breaker off the rope. That was it.
So
which again, I didn't think she was going to get the pin there because she was so close to the rope. I thought
she was close to the rope, and again, it was a bit of a... I don't want to say it was a bum finish, but it was just kind of... It certainly wasn't a...
It wasn't hot.
No, and it didn't... a good match needs to reach a climax.
Yeah.
And this just felt like a match that resulted in a pin. There wasn't that kind of a gradual kind of stepping stone from bottom.
It wasn't like you begin and you middle and your end. The end kind of dropped off.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. But I'm glad that they've retained because I want some credibility for these titles. I want them to go against some of the people. Like, where the fuck is Asuka and Sakari Sane? Just like put them against each other.
Haven't you heard, mate? She's a YouTube streamer now.
What?
Asuka. She's a streamer.
I didn't even know that.
She's a streamer. I think she even tweeted a joke about it. I think someone said, where's Asuka? And she literally replied saying, haven't you heard that I'm, a YouTuber now?
So she's not wrestling at all?
Oh, it was a joke. The fact that she's not being utilised, but she's doing that in her spare time. But it's just kind of...
She must have a lot of spare time then.
Definitely.
Yeah, that...
So I just kind of hope that they change this storyline or that it goes somewhere other than just kind of subjective kind of opinions on looks.
Yeah,
especially when it was Alexa that was
bullying Nia.
She was in, and that made me very uncomfortable. I don't like these.
I watched was it Chronicle or 24 or something on Alexa Bliss, and they said they had to do that and everything. And I thought to myself, it's weird how you agreed to do that when you spoke about how much when you were younger you got bullied and everything because you didn't have any breasts and stuff and people took the piss.
Yeah.
Yet you were okay to do that storyline. It's just... Yeah, it's a little bit close.
WWE!
Yeah. Right. Controversy gets cash.
IC Championship match.
Yeah, this, personally, I think you could have put this on the pre-show instead of the United States.
Yeah, especially the fact that Shinsuke retained.
I mean, he looks strong as fuck.
He did. How do you feel about Sami Zayn?
I don't know, because he's a really good heel. He's got a good gob on him, but sometimes maybe it's a little bit too much. Mm-hmm. Also, it's kind of like, oh well, we haven't got anything for you, so let's just stick you in Nakamura because you can talk and he can't talk English.
Yeah.
And I suppose I get that. It's just like, well, Nakamura doesn't have to do long promos. He could just do one-word answers, just like after he turned heel at WrestleMania. It was down to one-word answers. Why can't you just do that? He doesn't necessarily need a mouthpiece. I mean, it's just because they ain't got nothing to do with Sami. That's the only reason he's there. They got nothing for him.
The thing is, Shinsuke never had a problem getting over in NXT.
No.
So the fact that they feel that, let's say that Vince thinks he's not getting over because he can't speak English. So his solution to that is putting in with Sami Zayn. I don't buy it. I just don't buy it. It's
a mismatch.
It is. Shinsuke doesn't need Sami Zayn. I don't think Shinsuke needs anyone.
No.
I think Shinsuke can, or he should, be able to hold his own, and we should care about him. And even though it's great to see him wrestling again, I can't remember the last time I saw Shinsuke.
Was this last time he had the Intercontinental title? I think when he got it, I think that was the last time he did a proper pay-per-view, I think.
We should care about Shinsuke, and I'm just not sure that I do.
They're not making us care.
Yeah, exactly. I like it when he wrestles. I like seeing him in the ring. But unless you're giving me something to
unless
care
you believe
about
in him,
exactly.
If you believe in him as a character or as a wrestler, then you will naturally get behind him when he's in the ring. But if you don't, like, people could be some of the best wrestlers in the world, but if you don't give a shit about them or you don't make us believe in the character, heel or face, then why do we care?
Yeah. So Sami Zayn was in his corner.
Yeah, he was
providing commentary on the mic during the match.
It was annoying the hell out of me straight away, and I was thinking, are we seriously dealing with this for the entire match? And by the grace of God, the fucking thing got cut off. I was so happy.
Do you know what the best thing about that was? That during that time that was happening, we had no commentary.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
That's a good point. Because it's boring, isn't it? It's so
commentary.
It's getting so. Apparently, they're going back to like just two people.
Yeah, two-man booths.
Two-man booth is fine. It's just that you need to get someone new because I'm sick to death of Michael Cole. Yeah. I'm sick to death of hearing history, Big Dog, and WWE. What a moment, vintage. I'm sick of every time because I can hear Vince in his ear going, "Say it again," and it's just it's driving me mad. And then you got Corey Graves on the other side, which I did enjoy him. But now he's being
I used to love Corey.
So annoying.
I used to love Corey, and the problem is he's under the direction of not only Michael Cole, but obviously Vince as well. So he's just turned into a heel, annoying Michael Cole.
Really, and not even like a Jerry the King Lawler kind of heel where it's annoying but funny. Yeah. He's just annoying. And there needs to change it.
There's too much bickering going on commentary. I'm watching a match, comment on the match, please.
Yeah, that's the thing. They just bicker all the time, and it's even worse when there's three of them.
Yeah.
Like Renee Young, bless her, I know she's trying, but I can't buy into her as a commentator. And it's not because she's a woman. I just feel like she never comments on anything of note.
For her. It's that simple.
No, it's not.
I love Renee. I think that she's great as a backstage interview. I think she was great as a panel host.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which I know that they're
where
talking
she can
about
be natural.
Yeah. So they're talking about putting her back into that role when SmackDown goes to Fox.
Yeah.
There's going to be that shot. I think they've said it's going to be on Tuesday. That panel show, and she's going to be doing that. So I think that's going to be really good for her. Perfect role. Let's get her out of commentary. She's really tried her best, and she's give it a good shot.
Yeah, she has,
it doesn't work.
It's just not working.
In my opinion.
It's because she's not saying anything of note. Like when a move happens.
Oh!
Yeah, that is exactly.
Oh!
That's what she says.
Yeah.
He's got a big fight ahead of him. Well, yeah, it's a wrestling match.
Yeah. So, yeah, commentary was bad, but...
Nakamura won, but Nakamura looked strong, which I know it kind of sucks for The Miz, but...
I thought The Miz was going to win.
Oh, so did I. I wept for The Miz, and there was a time where I thought he was going to get it when I think he got the skull crushing finale.
Yeah.
And I don't know how it...
It was the distraction.
That was it, distraction. Then he got knocked over with Kinshasa.
Classic heel antics. Yeah. It was the distraction. Miz was then distracted as well. Equaled in a Kinshasa from Shinsuke. That was it. With the win there. So Nakamura defeats The Miz. The Miz was, if he won this match, he was going to tie
Jericho, and that's Jericho. The reason I picked him as a prediction, because of all this stuff going on with AEW, and obviously Jericho's banned,
and they mentioned
they want to give him the middle finger.
Did you hear that?
Did they mention his name?
During the Miz's entrance, they didn't mention Jericho's name.
They mentioned about tying.
But they mentioned about tying,
but they wouldn't mention Jericho's name.
So I thought that was going to happen, but maybe they're saving that. I don't know. It was a bit of a throwaway match, to be honest.
Yeah, the only thing it did do was, like I say, it made Nakamura look strong. That was the only thing.
Nakamura looked strong. There was no real kind of chemistry in the ring, I didn't think.
No, I mean, I think it was one of those that, given a couple more matches together, I think they could. It was the same thing with AJ and Nakamura at the start, like, what the fuck's going on? And as it got better, so like the last match they had was definitely the best one, I think.
Yeah.
So I think it's like maybe a slow.
Let's talk about the crowd during this match. I thought the crowd were particularly dead during this match. I mean, I didn't think the crowd were overly loud for the whole show, to be honest.
No, there was only a couple of moments, really. And even moments, not matches, to be honest.
And this was one of those, and it was definitely what kind of stood out to me was when what's his name, the ring announcer.
Oh yeah.
Which one was it? Was it Greg?
Could have been. I can't remember what his name.
So he was announcing them, and he was putting on his voice, and there was just no response. And when he's kind of yelling the names out,
you expect a little bit of buzz,
and there was just nothing. It's kind of like you really can tell then that the crowd just aren't excited for this match.
Yeah,
they're
just sitting through it.
Yeah. So moving on, the Raw Women's Championship match.
Yeah,
Becky Lynch, the man, versus
returning Sasha Banks. Heel Sasha Banks, which is definitely the right way to go for her, because she was amazing heel in NXT.
Yeah.
As soon as she turned heel, I was like, yes, do that, do it now. Pushes to the moon, absolutely, that's fine. Stick it with Lynch, not a problem.
Yeah.
And I think all six of us in our predictions, we all went for Sasha because we thought, honestly, I didn't think who else can be taking the title from Becky.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting to the point now, the same with Becky as it is with Kofi, it's getting close to maybe someone needs to take it soon.
Becky's getting very stale for me.
Yeah, I mean, I still like her, but it's time, I
don't think the whole...
Within the next couple of pay-per-views, she needs to lose that title. And I thought Sasha was going to be the one to do it because of the new heel, the new contract. Obviously, she went crying home and everything, took her ball and went home because of like her position in the company. We thought maybe she'll sit out of contract. There was all this shit going on. Mm-hmm. And then when she appears, it's like, right, they've negotiated something. That means they're going to do something that she'll be happy with. Yeah. So when they put her in this title match, I thought, well, the thing they're going to give her is that title.
Yeah.
So, but...
Didn't happen.
No.
So the match was actually a really great match.
Yeah, the match was great, apart from the very end.
100%.
The match itself was hot from start to finish. Like, they did all the spots they needed to do. They worked over each other with the disarmer and the bank statement quite a lot.
Yeah.
And the chair thing, like the Eddie Guerrero kind of shenanigans with the chair.
Loved that.
Amazing. Worked perfectly. And then Becky, knocks down the ref with the chair by accident. Mm-hmm. And this is when it kicks in again. They go up through, the crowd. They go backstage. They come back down through the crowd. And we were just assuming at that point the match is still going on, the ref's still down, so eventually he'll pop back up again for the pin. Then the announcer just came and said, "Oh no, she's been disqualified." I was like, "What?" I didn't hear a bell ring, no one said anything, but you could see the crowd slowly cottoning on.
Yeah.
Oh no, the match is over.
The crowd definitely didn't know what was going on.
They were up here and then they just dropped as soon as they figured out.
So, did you notice? So they went up the stairs, they went out into the atrium, and then they came back out.
Yeah.
Did you know that of course he was, but to actually see him, to see the ref still lying
I was laughing my ass off. Because it's been 10 minutes, mate.
The camera is at the top of the stairs, so you can see way down in the distance. The ref is just dead.
Because as we all know, refs are made of paper.
You know what I mean? So they get back down to the ring, and the ref at this point slips out of the ring.
Yeah.
So the camera is intentionally kept off the ref, and the ref slips out of the ring. Terrible finish.
Yeah.
I can see what they were trying to do.
But you should have had it like an actual point on it.
Another case of booking yourself into a corner.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want Becky to lose. No. They didn't want Sasha to lose. You put them in a one-on-one match, someone has to lose. Right? Yeah. So they said, okay, we'll do the DQ finish. It's great. We can keep Sasha strong because she never lost. Becky still gets to keep the title. They played Becky's music when she was walking up the ramp.
Yeah.
After they were saying that Becky's been disqualified, but still your champ. They
never mentioned Sasha.
They push the narrative in the way that they want to, and and it's kind of false because Becky's been disqualified. Here is your winner, Sasha.
But they didn't.
You play Sasha's music.
Yeah.
And then, if you want, you can play Becky's
afterwards.
music.
Yeah.
But, so they did that. Terrible way to do it, I think.
Yeah, because like I say, you had no bell ringing, you had no one saying anything, and it just, like I said, that we weren't sure, the crowd weren't sure, and then you slowly cotton on, and then
do you think that was just a bit of miscommunication on production side, that maybe they should have had a bell, or...
I don't know, yeah, they should have had a bell, at the very least, and announce it like they usually would do in disqualification.
I didn't know if they were going to go with a no contest. I didn't know if because what they should have done is just, sometimes they'll have another ref just run.
Yeah, that's what I thought was going to happen, because like you say, with them panning away from the other ref, I thought, well, they're doing that on purpose, so I thought maybe another ref is going to run down because they're still focusing on the girls.
Which they could have done.
Yeah.
And that just shows us again that they go, no, we're going to take the easy route because we don't want to make this booking decision. So rather than having another ref come down, rather than having the ref, recover from a chair shot after 10 minutes. No, we're just going to have it, fizzle out.
Yeah, and that's it. It did fizzle. It really fizzled out, and it was a shame because up to that point it was great. It really was. So yeah, Becky's still your champ.
She is.
I mean, it means the feud continues, which means hopefully Sasha will take it.
Yeah.
Hopefully the next one, Hell in a Cell. No escape.
Are you seeing her more as the boss character from NXT yet, or not?
I'm getting there. I think a few more promos, a few more heel tactics on Raw, and I think we'll get there. It's almost there. Just give her a little bit more time to shine. Heyman's in charge, so I'm hoping that Heyman just goes, just let her do this, let her do that, be this vindictive, evil bitch that she can be. Yeah. And I think that Hell in a Cell, she could take the title. Becky has no escape. Do
you think that's where they're going to finish this storyline?
I don't know, purely on the fact that given what's happening with the Universal title, I think there's things that are happening there in Hell in a Cell which we'll get to.
Right.
So I don't think they're ending two storylines at Hell in a Cell. So maybe they'll go to Survivor Series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good shout. We'll see. Next up, the WWE Championship match. Tis your boy, Kofi Kingston versus Blandy Orton.
Did you know he's part of the stable?
You could have fooled me.
You wouldn't know, would you?
So, I don't know. I think Randy, we've been saying for a while now that he just doesn't care. He's shown more desire to be there in the
title picture. Yeah, when he's in the title picture, he's been a bit more of a vicious viper kind of guy. But
like he actually cares. In a minute, but I don't see that translating into his matches yet. And I don't know if that's just Randy's style.
It was a bit slow and methodical, and it's just like, I don't want that.
Yeah, and it's kind of the opposite to what Kofi is, I think.
Yeah, because he's a high flyer, he's a quick mover.
Yeah. So, Randy Orton matches to me just don't really do anything for me. Randy Orton as a character, I like his promos, in this instance, but...
Yeah, this storyline, his promos have been fine. The stupid thing, that's all fine, because that harks back to the 11 years ago when they fought each other, and that's fine. I think that all works. It's just, when he gets in the ring, it's business as usual with Randy, and it's just it's nothing phenomenal anymore.
Yeah. The right result, Kofi wins.
Yeah.
Kofi retains.
To be honest, it was a hard one to call this, because I was thinking who else is going to be the one to take the title from Kofi, and I thought, well, maybe they're going to put it in Orton because they still think Orton's is highest
hard
guy.
To bet against Randy Orton in pay-per-views, in championships.
Yeah, because it's rare he loses.
Because it's Randy Orton, he's protected.
We've seen a not here. He is one of the most protected there outside of maybe Roman Reigns.
Yeah. So for me, it was the right result. I do want to see Kofi lose this title soon.
Yeah, it's the same thing with, like we said, with Becky. It's getting. Oh, by the way, there's the bike guy that comes by all the time, making loads of fucking noise. Rick. Anyway,
so
yeah, he needs to lose it soon.
He does. Although I think we've got to give the WWE credit here. I don't think any of us expected Kofi to still be champ at this point. I really thought he was just going to be. We're going to give.
I thought it was going to be like Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania.
Yeah, we're going to give the crowd what they want. We're going to give the people what they want, which is Kofi,
later,
and then because we don't have any long-term views for Kofi.
Yeah.
But he's still a strong champ.
Yeah, I'm still enjoying him. I'm getting to that point where maybe it's going to start to get a bit stale.
He was definitely more entertaining chasing the belt.
Yeah, I mean the storyline, it wrote itself, didn't it?
But I think that when you've got faces like that, I think it's always the underdog story. It's always more compelling when you are kind of punching upwards.
Yeah. The thing is, though, maybe it's the saturation of the fact that we've got Kofi, Seth, and Becky, 3 faces holding our top 3 titles.
Yeah.
And it's like all 3 storylines are getting to that point now where we're coming to the who's taking it, when are we moving on.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what it is. It's not necessarily that we're getting bored with all 3 of them or anything. It's just, I think that we're naturally coming to the end of the storylines, and it's bad to have all those storylines coming to an end at the same time. Yeah. They need to be staggered.
Definitely. But I mean, just look at the names of people that Kofi has overcome. Samoa Joe, Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
And Randy Orton. So, you've got to give them props that they
made him legit.
Yeah. And in a comedy act, it's very easy to make it seem not legit. But, he's doing it well. And I don't necessarily see him as the underdog anymore.
No.
He's definitely...
He surpassed that.
Yeah.
He definitely has. Since he's won the title and they've given him these chances, he's definitely gone past that.
So who do you want to see take that belt off him?
I really don't know, because I like the fact that they gave him the win over Orton purely on the fact that they hold Orton as a high regard, so that it solidifies Kofi. So I like that.
Yeah.
As far as taking it, the only thing I can see is it being one of the other New Day when they turn heel on him, because story writes itself. That's your 2 bookends. They helped him build up to that point where he gets the title, and they're the ones that take it away from him.
Yeah,
that's your bookends for your story. I can't think of anybody else at the moment. I really can't. For a while, I thought maybe they'd do it with Joe, but they used him too early.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think who else is on SmackDown that would be
I think Kevin's going to be out of the picture. If rumours are true, he's going to NXT.
Yes, when he put those numbers up on his tweet and it was an NXT.
Yeah,
and
he also tweeted a picture of his kid at I think it was Disney World or something with Ciampa.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he posted. Well, it was Ciampa holding his kid, holding hands with Kofi, with Kevin's kid. And I think it says best friends or something like that. And it was Ciampa.
Yeah.
So it's definitely rumoured and it's definitely teased.
Yeah, that he's potentially doing it. Which, I'm fine with, because they clearly don't want to do anything with Kevin at the moment. They thought they were going to push him to the moon and they bailed on it. But if you go to NXT, I'm just looking forward to the matchups.
Yes, and I don't think they see NXT as the kind of low tier
inferior branding.
Yeah.
Well, no, because Vince is getting stuck in now, isn't he? And they're making it a TV show, so they are making it the third brand.
That's why I think they're doing this, to give the TV show a top star that people are already familiar with.
Yeah.
You've got the kind of mainstream audience. Kevin Owens, I think, is a good person to have. If rumours are true, it's that we won't see Kevin on Raw and SmackDown, because if they really are trying to do the brand split properly with the draft,
he can't be.
Then we can't have 1 or 2 people break the rule, because that's when you get things like the wild card.
Oh, wild card Raw, man.
So
it's fucking ridiculous. We don't know what to do. Make some shit up. See you in an hour.
It's ridiculous. It really is.
Yeah, so it's a shame about Kevin. But I don't know who else can take it from Kofi other than a New Day member.
We'll see, I guess.
The only thing I'm worried about is that they just decide, it's time to take the title off, and they just give it to the next person they go against.
Transitional champ, maybe.
Like Rusev or something like that. Which, don't get me wrong, I'd be all for Rusev having a title, but not in this circumstance.
You haven't seen Raw yet?
No, not yet. I know he's coming back, but I don't know what capacity.
I haven't seen it either.
Yeah, I know he's back.
Seen the spoiler.
But I don't know what capacity. I also have seen the fact that he's got a moustache now.
Yeah, I think he looks great.
I don't know.
I think he looks great.
I like it. He looks a little bit like a 70s porn man.
And that's what I love. That's what I love. Don't you know that Goffy Dalat loves
a bit of
porn men from the 70s?
Is that what you type in when you go on Pornhub? 70s porn men?
Yeah, 100%.
I want his pubes in his afro.
So, moving on, we have 2 matches left, I believe.
Yeah, one of them a non-title match.
Yeah, so it was the no DQ match.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns, Eric Rowan.
He has a K on the end of his name now.
Well, he has Eric back full stop. You know, they took his first name away from him for a while.
Yeah,
I didn't know so did he... Was Eric only
originally. When he was in the Wyatt family.
Right.
So they just put a K on the end of it.
So there you go. So, Eric Rowan... They seem to be really pushing him as this dominant monster.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I don't really have any complaints about this match. This was a match that I wasn't that interested in because it's been a bit of a kind of a shaky story building up. They've had some good moments, but then every other week they seem to be dropping the ball with the next bit of story, like they were making shit up as they went along.
The story, in my opinion, was trash.
Yeah, the car thing I thought was great, and the whole thing with Joe.
But when they keep kind of backtracking.
Yeah,
there's no
this is the thing. It's like one week, amazing. Next week, they backtrack, and it seemed to be like that. Stop.
I really think that it was evident that they had no vision of where this storyline was going.
No, they were making shit up as they went along.
Buddy Murphy wasn't meant to
be there.
I think at one point they thought, yeah, okay, we will have Buddy Murphy, and then they changed their mind. I think that at one point they said, yeah, we'll have it be Daniel Bryan. I think at one point they said it's going to be Eric Rowan.
And they just kept flip-flopping. And I mean, they went for Rowan, which is kind of like a deflating end to the reveal or whatever. However, given this match and given what they've done with him since, promo-wise and everything...
he's talking.
Yeah, he's talking, and he's talking well. I'm not saying it's phenomenal, but it's serviceable, and I think to myself, this is a side I haven't seen of him before, and I'm willing to see more.
So let's just jump to the end of the match real quick. So a reason why I think that they may have settled on Eric Rowan again being the person behind it is because of the surprise run-in from his brother-in-arms, the bludgeon brother,
Luke Harper. Yeah,
and I'm so happy.
Didn't see this coming at all because the way they did the camera as well was like you saw Reigns going for the running spear down the ramp, and someone hit him with a big boot, which you assume was Eric, but because of the way they positioned the camera, you weren't too sure. And then you pan back, it's like, no, there's Eric. Oh my god, that's Luke Harper. I was like, what the fuck? After everything we'd heard that he wasn't happy in the company, he asked for his release, he was sitting at his contract injured, he was clearly going to go to AEW afterwards. All this shit. And now they're putting him back into it. So I don't know what they've got for him, but it better be good because he's got so much potential, this guy.
So I heard that he only got the call on Friday or Saturday morning to actually do it. So that tells me that either again, it was another last minute thought to get some substance to this,
put some juice into it.
Or they always had in their mind that Eric Rowan was going to be involved in some way, and they just kind of didn't tell him until last minute. Oh, by the way, we want you involved. In this. So
I hope it's not that because I don't want it just be this quick thing, and before you know it, he's not doing anything again. Because it'll just be miserable, and he was miserable, and I don't want him to be miserable. I want him to.
He
succeed.
Is so great.
He's so awesome,
and he looks. I honestly love the Bludgeon Brothers.
Yeah, I thought it was a good gimmick. I thought it was a nice repackage.
I really liked the gimmick. I love the entrance music. I didn't like the cheesy hammers.
Yeah, you probably could have got rid of them.
I think they could have, if they just put a little bit more money into making those hammers, it could have been alright.
Because they look like a prop from eBay.
Exactly. So, I love Luke Harper. I'm warming up to Eric Rowan.
After this match...
He was always my least favourite of the Wyatts.
Yeah, but after this match, I am more behind him than I've ever been. Yeah. I think he did really well at selling how much of a beast he was. I think Reigns did really well as the match. It was quite a...
So let's talk about Reigns. Because as you know, I've always been a huge Roman Reigns fan.
Yeah, you have.
Right? But I'll always be...
Even during the dark times.
Even during the dark times. But I would always be the one to say, yeah, they're using him wrong. He is overpushed.
Yeah.
He shouldn't win match. I'd always cheer him because I just love Roman Reigns as a character. You know, I think he's got the whole package, you know. Yeah. But he was used wrong. They're using him right.
Yeah.
You know, although the storylines fell apart and it was, to be honest, a shit show of a storyline.
Yeah.
They're using Roman at the minute to put over other stars and to actually create some inventive storytelling
and shocking moments, because none of us really thought that Eric was going to win this. Even the people that went for him, I don't think we generally thought he was going to win, because it's Roman wins law, which he normally does.
Exactly.
But for the Luke Harper interference to take hold and then Reigns gets pinned, and I'll be honest, I sat back and went, I don't think it diminishes him at all.
No.
I don't think it injures him in any way. It doesn't wreck his character. He was fucked over by two guys and he got pinned.
This helps Roman, I think. Because Roman not being in the top title picture, which I'm hoping they just keep him out of it for a while longer.
Yeah.
Having him in this upper mid-card role is doing really well for him, because we are starting to see Roman the way we want to see him, and it feels more organic. Yeah. And that's the one thing that we've always said about Roman, is that he was being forced down our throats, and they were trying to... It was so thin and obvious to see what they were doing with him, but this time it's becoming a bit more unpredictable, and we want that. Yeah. Two huge guys in the ring. They tore that place apart. Yeah, it was fun. It was a great match. They had some announcer table spots.
Yeah.
They brought in the camera.
They dropped through the tables around the side of the ring.
Yeah.
The Rector MacBook Pro doing it as well.
He did. I saw that.
As soon as it happened, I went, "Oh my god, it's a Mac!"
It was.
I was like, what's a grand to fucking Vince? It's nothing.
It was a typical NDQ match that had two, what they would like to call behemoths involved. And so I loved it. Having Luke Harper come back just made it, to me,
it was the cherry on the cake.
Oh yeah, it was a match.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say A+. I would give it A. But so there was rumours that this was going to close the pay-per-view.
Oh, you couldn't do that. Not with it being Clash of Champions.
Exactly. That's what a lot of people were complaining about, me included. But so I'm glad that they put it here. Yeah. It was the right place to put it, and I think it hyped the crowd up a little bit.
Yeah,
having all that carnage and having that return,
definitely,
it hyped the crowd up ready for the main event.
Yeah, no complaints there.
Yeah,
at all.
So let's just see what they do with it. Do you think that they're going to bring back Bludgeon Brothers, or are they going to just have them?
No, I think that they're just going to go with Luke and Eric together. Because obviously Luke looked like he was wearing similar stuff to what Eric was wearing, kind of Viking-esque looking stuff. He was wearing the Arm and Arm t-shirt, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I think they can just go with that. I think they can both talk, they can both be aggressive, and they can just be a force to be reckoned with. And I don't think they need a specific gimmick. They can just be themselves. Yeah. Clearly Eric can talk. Luke, I think, is absolutely phenomenal. I think they can, if they just go organic with it, I think they can work wonders.
Daniel Bryan just fell out of this story.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm unsure about, because I was even unsure, did they turn him face by having going against Eric and stopping him going against Ray? I don't know what they're doing with him. He disappeared. I don't know whether they're going to bring him back into it. Maybe they'll form
because again,
faction.
I would love to see, if Daniel Bryan was still in this picture and he was still, the leader of this, this eco, having Eric and Harper behind him,
it's kind of like
a great visual.
It's like a Wyatt 2.0.
Yeah. Well, how about this? We had the Wyatt family all in the same
last two
matches, which I thought was pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. However, I will say one thing: I don't want the Wyatt family back together yet.
I don't want them back together at all. I think
Bray and the Fiend thing needs to stay so far away from the rest of them.
The Wyatt family, just as amazing as it was. As it should have been, it just never equaled anything. And
the reason that is because Bray kept losing all the time. Yeah. So if your guy that's in charge of the thing keeps losing, you look like an idiot as much as he does.
It would be a big mistake to do that, but I don't think they have any intentions of putting them back together.
Yeah, because the Fiend, of all of them, does not need it.
Oh, he is money.
Yeah. Honestly, it shows what you can do with the character when you just let them do what they want to do with it.
Yeah.
And Bray is just absolutely nailing it.
Yeah.
As we'll get on to.
So, main event.
Yeah.
Universal Championship match. Seth Rollins.
Burn
freaking Rollins.
Burn it down.
And Braun Strowman. What do you think?
Yeah, it did what I'm not going to say it was like the best match I've ever seen. It wasn't like A+ or 5-star or anything like that, but it was a match that did what it needed to do. It had all the spots it needed to do. Big man versus small man. It did that story that it needed to. The only thing I would say is that the tag title loss didn't really play into this at all, which is a little bit annoying, I suppose. But yeah, it did everything it needed to, and I'm glad of the result because I was unsure how Seth was going to get this win. But the fact that it took 4 curb stomps and a pedigree, which he hasn't used in ages, I'm glad it went away.
The most protected move, by the way,
outside of the RKO. But yeah, because it was 3 curb stomps. The third one, I thought, right, this is it, because Lesnar went down in the third one, didn't he? Yeah. And I was like, this is it. And then he kicked out. I was like, he kicked out of the third one. Lesnar didn't do that. That's ridiculous. Like, is he going to fucking do this? Yeah. And then when he went in for a pedigree and then another curve start, I was like, this has got to be it. He has to lose. Yeah. So they did that exactly as expected. The spots made sense for the story and the characters. Yeah. I have no complaints, and I also love how everything finished up as well. Yeah. Like, we were given that kind of false insecurity. The little rights logo comes up in the corner. And we're all just kind of like, all right, that's it, no Fiend. Yeah. And then you hear the music, you're like, oh my God, they've actually done it. He's on the ramp, his sister Abigail's him, he puts him with the mandible claw. And I think everything about that is the way you finish a pay-per-view. Yeah.
They definitely did the right thing putting this match on last, especially with the whole Fiend what if. And
it also gives Reigns and Seth and Braun time to recuperate from their earlier match.
It really... the whole match, I think everyone was so invested in because we were all just waiting for the Fiend. We didn't know if he was going to interfere, if he was just going to, play shenanigans throughout the match just with, lighting effects or whatever. But I think we all knew he was going to have some part to play. In fact, in our predictions, we opted for the bonus point not to be the Fiend appearing.
Yeah, because we all just thought...
We just thought it was going to be a no-brainer.
When Josh mentioned it, I was like, yeah, you got a point. We're all going to think he's going to appear, don't we?
I got the bonus point right.
Yeah, I did, because as soon as we all put the numbers up, it was like... Because our bonus point was how many times will the 24/7 Championship change hands, which was 0, and Matt was the only one that did that. We all went for numbers, so I thought, it's Clash of Champions. It's a championship belt. It's got to change hands at some point. It's got to be defended.
I looked at the number of matches on the card, and I just said... There is no time.
There's no time. I mean, technically, it was kind of like defended because Alexa Bliss went for a pin, I suppose.
It was defended.
I suppose, but no
I was
changes.
worried about the pre-show. I thought if it was going to happen, it was going to happen on the pre-show. Yeah. Which it could have done. As soon as I saw Truth, I was like, shit. Because that's what I thought.
Just one pin and that's it, you lost it.
And I did pretty terrible for predictions this show, so I needed that point.
I mean, I'll be honest, your missus did phenomenal. Every single one except the bonus point.
Yeah.
We've never had that. That was incredible. I'm actually quite surprised with Sarah as well, because she went for like a load of controversial ones, right? Because she was at the bottom of the pile. She's like, well, I'm not going to get anywhere until Mania next year, and she ended up climbing. She's still at the bottom, but she's climbed up a lot of points. She's only 1 point behind him.
He's very close.
The
match, it was a main event that everyone was invested in because of the stipulation, which was going to be the winner of this match is going to be facing the Fiend at Hell in a Cell. In Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
Are they saying it's going to be in the cell?
Yes, in the
I
cell.
assume
it's got to be in the cell. There's no way you can't.
Have they announced it's going to be in the cell? Or
they haven't announced it yet, but it's got to. It has to.
Yeah.
Oh, side note as well, I do like the advert they put for Hell in a Cell where the cell actually wrapped around people's arms.
Kind of growing around.
Yeah, I liked that. That was a good little promo for it. It's got to be in the cell. It has to be. It makes sense for the Fiend's character for it to be in the cell.
Yeah. So, Braun jumping off the top rope.
Oh, yeah! I forgot about that.
How did you feel about that? And what did you think to him almost going arse over tit?
I mean, I'll be honest. Fair play. I mean, he didn't do it bad. It's not like he did it like Lesnar, where he fucked up royally when he did it in Mania.
How did Corey describe it? I think he described it as
a bus flying through the air.
Flying through the air, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah. But I mean, fair enough, he did it.
He did it. I wouldn't like to be Seth Rollins.
Oh, no, because I thought, well, Seth's going to move. It's going to be the point where the big guy gets like knocked over because he's done something stupid. But no, like Seth took the full hit. Yeah. I was like, his ribs must be fucking caning.
So, my only problem with Braun Strowman being in this championship match or in the title picture at all is that he has never done well in a title match. Really.
No, he's always had good matches.
He's had good matches, but how many title matches has he had now? 7? 6 or 7.
What, for Universal?
Yeah.
It's got to be something like that, yeah.
He hasn't won.
Is that a couple? Is that a four-way? Is that a triple threat? Is that a few singles?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably about 7.
He hasn't won any of them, obviously, and it's very surprising that as a wrestler or as a character you are given that many title opportunities.
Yeah.
When there are plenty of other people that
more deserving,
you know.
Yeah.
So I understand that you know that's where the story took them. I didn't know if they were going to do the whole Braun and Bray angle, which obviously they're not.
Which I'm glad of, purely because, right, I'm going to say that The Fiend has to win at Hell in a Cell, end of story. There is no other outcome of that. If you have Seth beat him, then you fuck the character of The Fiend, end of story.
Yeah.
You push him as this monster that you've been doing. He has to take that belt away from Seth because there's no one else who can think to do it.
Yeah.
And if it was Braun, it would be a bit more difficult because of how big and stocky he is, and it's a bit more for The Fiend to overcome. With Seth, it's a little bit more on a level playing field. You know what I mean? I think it's more, you can buy into it easier. With him going against Braun, it's harder.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand the weave of the Wyatt family history, but I don't think we need to weave that in at any point. It's not necessary. Like I say, we don't need a Wyatt family reunion at any point. So,
how do you feel about this match happening altogether?
Like you said, there could have been some other people in Braun's spot.
No. I mean the Bray match.
The Bray Seth thing
that's coming up.
Too early, but if they're going to do it, they need to do it properly. And like I said, they need to have The Fiend win. Because again, it's getting to the point where I think out of the 3 storylines that are coming to an end, with it being Becky, Kofi, and Seth, Seth's one needs to end at Hell in a Cell. The other 2 can go for another pay-per-view, that's fine. But Seth, there's no one else to beat now. He's beaten Lesnar twice. He's beaten Braun Strowman now. I can't picture anybody else beating him. They're building this Fiend character as this entity outside of everything else that is around in this company.
Yeah.
So if you're putting him in the cell against him,
I mean, I'm done with Rollins having the title.
Yeah.
I'm done with Rollins as a face. I'm done with Rollins. I don't really like him anymore.
I think the reason that is because of the recent tweets and the fact that he's becoming this company guy.
I think he's definitely turned the fans against him.
A little bit, yeah. He's not getting full-on cheers anymore. It's because of his attitude on Twitter and what he's been saying to certain people and what he's been saying about him and his position in the company.
Yeah.
The fact that he's clearly a poster boy, and he's being that poster boy too aggressively.
Yeah.
And I think that, like I say, it turns a lot of fans off. And I think they need to have a change up. It's at that time where one of them needs to lose the belts. Therefore, I'm absolutely fine with losing.
Yeah.
And although it is too early for The Fiend, as I've said, fine.
My only problem with The Fiend having the title is I don't want to have to think about who is going to be the person to dethrone the Fiend.
Yeah, that is
the only person I can see it being is Demon Finn when he comes back. They could have that title on him for a year. You can build up to WrestleMania against Demon Finn, and that's the only person I can see beating the Fiend.
Because that kind of brings a full story thing with the Finn, doesn't it? Really,
but the problem is I don't want to have to think about who is going to beat the Fiend.
Yeah, because
to me the Fiend is at the minute he's unbeatable, or at least
he's an entity more than a person.
Yeah. So it'll be good. I think that if and when the Fiend does lose, and this could. It'd be dumb to have him lose this match, but if he does lose this match at Hell in a Cell, it needs to be Bray coming through the Fiend. It needs to be the Fiend
he's conflicted.
Yeah, it needs to be the Fiend. With the whole hurt and the heel, it needs to be kind of being distracted with the real Bray trying to come through and stop the Fiend from doing all this damage. Yeah. Or the Fiend just doing some kind of antics like disappearing or not even wanting the belt. He wants to come after people.
Which is fine, but by the way that this pay-per-view ended, it made it seem like he's more than happy to take it on to get the belt. Again, it's too soon because, like I said, the sooner he gets the belt, the sooner he'll start losing.
We'll see what they do with it. I hope they don't ruin the Fiend character.
Because it's the best thing they've got in this company at the minute.
You got to give them props. So far, they've done it to a T perfection.
Yeah.
So the last thing that we saw in this pay-per-view was Seth, top of the ramp, lights go down, classic Fiend antics, and then the Fiend appears. Sister Abigail,
Mandible
Claw, face to black.
Yeah.
Great ending to a pay-per-view.
Perfect. It's exactly how you end a pay-per-view, build into the next.
It brought the pay-per-view up a lot for me because, to be honest, I
was even about to switch it off.
Yeah.
Like, as the logo came up, I was like, oh, well, that's it, no Fiend. And then I just heard the screech. I was like, oh, shit, I forgot. I literally almost completely forgot.
It's classic. It's what they do. I think that it would have been a mistake not to have it. If you just ended there, you would have had a lot of people pissed off.
Yeah.
So, pay-per-view ended overall.
I enjoyed it. There were some good moments in it. There was some good spots, some good matches, but there was also some things that were just I wasn't interested in, or didn't have enough build, or the match ended too quickly, or ended too stupidly, like the Becky one.
Yeah.
There's a lot of factors in this, so I'd say it was a mid-range pay-per-view. So out of 10, I'm going to have to give it. I'll give it a 5, maybe a 6. No, I'll give it a 5. Purely because I'm right in the middle. I liked a lot of stuff, but there was a lot of stuff I didn't as well. It was just that kind of mid-range.
I think having those last two matches made the pay-per-view better for me. The Becky and Sasha match, the match itself was a really good match. The ending left a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth, but overall, I was entertained for a good portion of this pay-per-view.
Yeah.
There were some matches I didn't care about. There were some matches that just didn't get going. But overall, I was entertained. I'm still on the AEW train at the minute, in that everything though that the WWE do just seems very stale in comparison.
It feels safe.
It does,
because they're so desperate to not injure people.
Yeah. Everything just seems really clean, really clinical.
Yeah.
And
there's no chances.
I'm definitely not interested in SmackDown and Raw at the minute.
No.
I only watch, to be honest, I'm watching the pay-per-views to see where, how they bring us into Hell in a Cell with The Fiend.
Yeah.
That's really the only thing that I kind of cared about going into the pay-per-view. I didn't really care about Roman and Eric.
No, I mean, they made me care by the end, but building up to it, no.
I didn't really, even though having Bayley in this heel role, I still didn't really tune in to watch what Bayley did. I'm just not buying her as a heel yet, and I think it's going to take more than a exposed turnbuckle.
Yeah.
You've still got the inflatable Bayley buddies.
Yeah, it's two-face. It's hard to, and she's like hugging like kids and everything. It's like, that's face.
So we'll see what they do with it. I'm looking forward to Hell in a Cell, but it's all about The Fiend for me. This is the only reason I'm tuning into WWE right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still watching highlights of Raw and SmackDown, but week to week, there's nothing that's really kind of grabbing me. It's, a couple of bits like, oh, I mean, that was all right. But yeah, mainly The Fiend is the bit I'm interested in. Yeah. So what would you give it out of 10?
I'm with you. It was a kind of mid-range 5 out of 10 pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Like I said, having The Fiend close it out
was the right thing to do. 100% the right thing to do.
But there's been pay-per-views where I can't even get through them. So the fact that I was able to kind of sit through this and enjoy it, especially the last hour, which is usually a bit of a drag. There was a lot of matches on this pay-per-view.
Yeah, it's because we've got a lot of championships.
Yeah. So it was good.
Yeah,
it was a pay-per-view.
It happened.
Yeah,
have a pay-per-view. So building up to Hell in a Cell, which is 3 weeks away, I think.
Something like that.
Yeah, so it's not that far. Which obviously you're not going to be a part of.
That's going to be the first pay-per-view in the AEW live presentation, right?
Oh, I don't know whether it's the week before. I don't know whether it's the week before.
What? How it's before AEW?
Before AEW, I think it's the week before.
Okay,
so it'll be the last one, like the last hurrah, maybe.
So they've got a lot to prove in this pay-per-view then.
Yeah, they've got 3 weeks and they've got a lot of things going on, and they could do it.
And this is before SmackDown goes to Fox?
Yeah, again, SmackDown's...
Is it before the draft?
Oh God, I can't remember. Again, I think the draft is middle of October.
Right. Okay.
I think.
Right. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out.
Yeah.
But if there is one closing comment from this podcast, it's that I think that this, and there's no denying that this is a great time to be a wrestling fan. Yeah,
there's so much content out there. If you don't like one thing, you can bugger off and watch another. It's not like
we love WWE, but we love to hate it. We love to bitch and moan about it.
Yeah, we do. We do, and sometimes that doesn't help things, but. Yeah. we have to be honest as fans, as podcasters, the same as anybody else that has a YouTube channel out there as a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
You have to be honest about what you're seeing in front of you.
Yeah.
You can't. We're not just hating it because it's WWE. We're not liking things because we're not liking what we see. We want it to be amazing.
Yeah.
And we're just hoping that it does pick up. And hopefully AEW will give it that push.
More wrestling is always good. More options is good. And yeah, let's just see. We've got changes with NXT. That's really exciting to see. We've got AEW going to weekly live TV. Their pay-per-view, what's that? Full Gear.
Yeah, so
it's going to be it's going to be good. So
got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's Clash of Champions all done. It's Matt's first time doing the podcast, which I think went really well.
Yeah.
Obviously, Josh will be back next time for Hell in a Cell, but I'm kind of hoping that when we come to doing WrestleMania, maybe the three of us can do WrestleMania.
If you don't want Josh back, just leave us a comment.
Yeah, just leave a comment.
Leave a comment.
Josh or Goffy?
Saying Goffy Della, please. Goffy Della, please.
AE or Della?
It's the only reason why I tune in to hear Goffy Della podcast.
Yeah, put your comments down below. We'll see how it goes.
And of course, I'll be the next Move Out Heavyweight Champion.
Well, will you though? Well, I don't know. If you put behind.
Hit stop! Hit stop!
I'm still a champ. I'm still a champ. Like and subscribe. We'll see you in a bit.